Okay, can you guys see me?
Yep.
Okay. So for the last session, I'm just going to go through custom developer and show you guys some of the changes that we have made to it. Okay, so for the last session, I'm going to go through custom developer and show you guys some of the changes that we have made to it. All the while, custom developer has really been for Configura employees. The developers in Configura, we always add new stuff to it. We add new tools to it that we think other developers would like, but it wasn't very well maintained. A lot of things were not working, they were not updated. So we had a meeting, a couple of us from Configura, and we decided to revamp a lot of stuff and polish the code a little bit. And so now the summer workers Gustav was telling you about just now, they have categorized the extensions quite well. So you now have the performance tab, the function tab, and also the monitor tab. So these are all very well defined now, and you can find a lot of really good stuff here. They've actually improved the snapper ranking tool. I mean, it's going to be impossible for me to show you every single little detail that they've implemented, but it's good for you to try it out by yourself, see what they've done to it, and hopefully it will really help you with your performance hunting sessions. And we've also noticed that a lot of our customers, a lot of our partner developers have been adding their own test tools to the extensions. For example, Dematic, they have a lot of test tools that even we use in KL to test some of our extensions. So I think these sort of tools should be made general, should be made common across. They should be available for all CET developers. So what we've been doing in KL is we've been taking stuff with permission, of course, and trying to come up with better tools. And also this has been done by a lot of guys in Sweden. So I would now like to ask you guys if there's something that's lacking with our existing custom developer package. We have a lot of great stuff, but we saw some really impressive stuff shown by Christopher earlier, and I think those sort of tools should be in our custom developer package. So if you have any suggestions, any issues with the way it's currently organized, just let me know now, and we will look into it. We are spending quite a bit of time nowadays trying to improve the entire package. So if you have any suggestions, we can talk about it now. Yes, you want?
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I think there is like tools to see X, Y, and Z axis on the snapper and the center point of the snapper.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it's an animation that displays it.
Yeah. It's
Maybe
this one.
we can make it as a vessel that you attach on the snapper.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Actually, there.
yeah.
It's like vessel around position. It just takes the vessel because it has a position and has a graphic there.
That's excellent, because otherwise, as soon as you want to get back to actually seeing the center point, you have to go in there and use the animation with it. It's attached to. Yes.
You know the animation is fixed already until then.
The vessel's already there, so you can add it to any core object and it'll display the position.
Okay, so we just need to.
Someone needs to rewrite the animation now. Or have you already done that? No.
You don't need to write any animations.
But we need to apply it to
But we still need to do it.
Yeah, of course. Or you put it on your snapper, it's not.
So we just have to update this animation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can talk about it. We might need to update those graphics too.
Okay.
You want to display axis stuff from position.
Yeah. Okay. So the axis, that's a good idea.
We also need to update some performance code from the animations without having the updates.
Just to share with you guys, there was a tool written by some of the guys in Dematic that helped us find problems with one of the stats extensions, and it wasn't very obvious. We couldn't just look at it and figure out what the problem was, and the snapper ranking tool didn't really help that much. But those tools from Dematic really showed that this part of the snapper is really slow. So we need all of those in our custom developer package, especially since the focus is in performance now. So more suggestions? Yes.
I know one that I put a feature request in for was right now when you do the auto tester, it's taking you an entire toolbox, and to be able to drill that down into a container or even an individual snapper. So that, if I know that I worked out 3 snappers to really put those through the test, versus having to rank an entire toolbox.
Right.
You know, so that's one that, you know, like I said, I've already submitted, so just, you know, so it's on the radar again.
So rank based on containers instead.
So essentially we were working on, we added caching to all of our graphics and then added a checkbox later to disable caching in order to like verify if bugs weren't being cached, or like if our graphics errors that we were running into were an issue with the cache data or not. So it was useful to have a checkbox to just disable caching at some point. But then later I ran into another issue where like I had forgotten I had left off caching. So then when I re-enabled it, some bugs came back. So I'm not sure if it makes sense to do so at this moment in time, but perhaps add a checkbox to enable disable caching, as well as some very flagrant red text somewhere or some item somewhere letting you know that, hey, you've currently disabled caching, go back and turn it back on when you're ready.
It would be kind of cool to have something, now when you say that, it would be kind of cool to be able to run 3D widgets without caching and then do a count and make sure that they are the same, right? So you run with one without caching, and you get all your polygon and meshes, and then you compare it to a cached version of that to make sure you get the same, and then you go for
Well, you can figure out if the cache is broke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the most common things we have an issue with is 3D caching, because people forgot something. So that's actually a good idea right there. But be able to do it more automated and test. When in Flex, for example, when you start stretching and do all those type of things, to make sure that the caching is proper set up by instant automatically test that.
So a good place could be in the performance ranking tool there.
Yeah, exactly.
As a
And that's
different
test. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I just want to add one thing. So like this rewrite was made by a guy at the Swedish office, not some interns. So like if you have feedback, he's glad to like take any feedback. And he's added these like question marks as well to like describe the tools to give help. And it's really good. And we're going to work more with this and give help to the tools and keep this updated now in the future. And we are going to change this between releases as well, keeping it living in a way. Because tools needs to be added when we add them. Like if we can't just wait. I think.
Yeah, I like the layout. I like the 3 tabs, performance, motion, monitor. I think it's intuitive.
So what we've done is that we hired 2 people to work full time with automatic testing, and yeah, like Gustav said, keeping the tools alive. So I mean, we're welcome to get feedback from you to prioritize the correct things.
And also something, sorry, you were saying?
No,
And also something you guys might have already seen before, but we have the startup time dialog. Have you guys tried it? So if you want to know, if you want to measure the startup times of your extensions, of your packages, you can use this. It gives you a good overview of how much time it takes to start up each and every package, and you can sort them according to your preferred order. Chris, you had a question?
Yeah, another one, I think you alluded to it before, that you're starting to work on it, but having a history, you know, when you run these models, when you run some of these tests, to at least be able to log those into some sort of a system that you can look at a history of, okay, here's my snapper, what was my stretch times, you know, in January, February, March, April, so we can tell that as releases go out, we can historically see, are we getting better? Or are we getting a lot worse? And might be interesting to watch.
So something like this, you export the data to an Excel file or some file, and then you can keep track of it.
Even better if you upload it to my configure.
Yeah, Victor, more work for you.
And put it up in the my configure database so we have a centralized location.
Oh, there you go.
That would be so sweet.
Now, well, actually, if they can do that, they would need.
Then it doesn't matter, right? It's
Yeah.
also a problem.
Yeah. Show me the numbers.
Yeah, I can also just remember
the kind of name, the time it took to do it when version. We want to have time test, for example, or polygon counts or whatever.
Be able to graph them out or something, just a quick at glance. Got that done yet?
Yes, Emma, go ahead.
Now I can just mention that we're also working on a tool to dig PDF files. So there are a few issues with that, but we were releasing it, and I think that will help a lot. Now we're talking a lot about performance. It's not measuring performance, but it measures that parts and a lot of stuff is getting correct. So if you do the print in one version and you print the next version, you can check. So we are starting running scripts on that, so it's test every submit that nothing has changed. And since it differs the PDF, you can add a lot of things. You can 2D viewport, 3D viewport, calculation, whatever. I mean, it will test a lot of things with visibility and function and stuff without doing script. So I think that would be a good way also. But now we have some problems that text are moving a little bit and so on, so we get too much diff. But it's still so much faster for QA to just check because it diffs with the force. So it will highlight where it's different. So you don't have to look with your eyes, but try to find those differences. But it's not ready. I mean, it's not super perfect yet, but
so
it will be.
but it's done on like Tuesday.
It's done on Tuesday.
Yeah, perfect.
Of course.
Another thing that would be kind of nice to see at some point, and I don't even know if it's feasible, but when would we be able to actually have the ability to look into the process of the GPU to say, you know, okay, I've replicated 100 snappers, and I want to see when I send that out to the GPU and when it finishes, you know, because you know from a CM perspective, it's done. But then to render all of that, I think that would give another potential look-see into what's going on. But I don't know if you can actually get that granular with.
It's just our flash, right? With the repositories. It's just how
Can we just count it?
it's whatever is invalid basically in the repository.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
Just count that. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good thing.
Totally possible.
Okay, any more suggestions, any more questions about the tools that we have? If you find yourself needing to add lots of tools to your own custom extension, maybe you should send us an email to dev support and tell us, you know, we need this.
Can you go to monitoring as once?
Yeah, sure.
Do we have a 3D repository or 2D repository monitoring? Because that would be sweet. Yeah, no, we don't. So this is where we should have
Yeah, I did want to try that stuff. Yeah.
So that would be sweet. Yeah, maybe even have a graph that over time just shows how it goes up and down for how long time it takes for it to when it goes. So we get some sort of data this week. When we know the drawing, we can see how it also affects.
Another feature request for myself will be to like do automatic install. So just build and it also installs and then it runs.
Also, when you can browse past someone install version, you're
yeah, and it downloads the updates, install it, and yeah. But that's not on Tuesday. I know.
I heard, okay.
It's in the pipeline.
Yes, right.
It's in the pipeline, but because sometimes people tend to write if development, which I don't really like. But I know you have to do it sometimes, but yeah. So that it works just fine and then build and
yeah, because that would be perfect. You set up everything beforehand, you just click the button when you go home. And then we just it's just sorted up, it's already run all the tests, give you a report. That is good. Push the button and say, I don't even need to push the button and say. I like it. Good man.
Rolf, you had a question, Rolf?
Yeah, we experienced one thing in the QA in our project. He's installing this and he's also installing the developer extension. And then as soon as he tries to run any of those tools, it crashes, or it just doesn't work, or it doesn't nothing happens. It's all kind of weird behaviors. are we looking into what tools could be available? I mean, some can't really be available in an installed version, I guess, but some could probably be, and it would be worth investigating that to enhance the possibilities for QA to use all these tools.
I agree. I mean, the one we did in the Mac, we actually have available for actual QA people as well in the installed version. So you can run all those tests there. So some of these, the ones that can be run outside, maybe we should have a separate QA extension that can be also.
Just give this to
So we'll just have it as a separate QA extension that just mirrors the same functionality and have the same buttons, but it's called QA and that can be installed. And that way
but the developer extension can be installed.
It can?
Yeah.
Doesn't some of them use just the CMS or
But
something?
in release mode, debug menu doesn't come. But I think now few of the things when you are putting them in the tool card, so maybe the access is increasing for QAs in release mode also. But I don't know how many things are coming up in those.
I would argue that it's better to create a totally different extension to make it so we know the ones that actually do work in QA would be the QA.
It was just a release version. I mean, regardless of how this is solved, there are many of those tools that could be used with QA in installed versions, and we should benefit from that by making them available. I guess there's only minor stuff that needs to be corrected in many of them.
And some of them can be very much useful also for support people. If you download like QA version on a machine on a client, for example, to see if you can figure out why it's so slow, right? So you can just go and quick test and see, okay, so here's items that on this doing this or different stuff.
And developer extension only goes to the people who have developer license. So there's no problem of customer.
No. So by right, all QAs should have a developer license. They should have access to it. Okay. Yeah. You mentioned crashing, right?
I think
Were the tools crashing?
I don't remember right now which one.
Because I know they.
Batch level is not working,
Yeah.
for example, so.
That's right. That's
Yeah, I think that's the most common one.
Yeah.
That's one of
I
the
made a
useful
note.
ones.
With that one should be filled, okay.
Because this in the build center, the new extension automatically adds up to the build. Something can be done for that. It's really tricky thing for the role to go and see if something you have just appeared in the list and remove it. I think you are getting. Yesterday I indicated this. So when a new extension is added to the source code, to build center, that extension automatically appears in the list which is going to be compiled and uploaded in the filter view. So there should be an option somehow that new things do not automatically appear in that, because that is storing something in XML. So it can also store the view which is visible and then take care in the next level that if thing was not already there, it will not add that something which should not.
Okay, I haven't actually tried it, but I can ask the stuff Nadine about it. See what it says. Yeah, about the tools crashing or not working, that was the case a couple of weeks ago, but I think now after all the work was done, it's so much more polished and it shouldn't, they should all work.
Sorry, this was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so hopefully things are much better now. And also we're still looking into refining lots of the functionality. Some have dialogues, some print to Emacs, some just add some stuff to your drawing. So we will try to make it a bit more consistent as we progress. But I think we have done quite a bit so far, but we still have a lot more work to do. Anything else? Otherwise, I'm done. Right, I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.